Honu and Hina, A Story of Coexistence. This is a naturally Hawaiian book by Patrick Ching and friends. And here's a photo collage of people who helped to do the art in this book. People of all ages. This is dedicated to Honey Girl, a gentle Honu that touched many lives, green sea turtle, and to Hina, a Hawaiian monk seal who inspired us to learn about nature. And it says, "Mahalo, thank you for showing us how to coexist, live well together." The evening sky glowed with the light of a full moon as the waves crashed upon the sandy Hawaiian shore. High up on the beach, a patch of sand began to move. Honu, a baby green sea turtle, poked his tiny head out of the sand for the first time to look at the world above. All of a sudden, dozens of baby sea turtles erupted from the sand like a volcano of little turtles, all pushing each other to make it to the top. The turtles scrambled down the beach, through the crashing waves, and out into the vast ocean. As the full moon made room for the morning sun, another miracle of life was unveiled. A newborn monk seal pup saw her first sunrise. The shiny black pup had a round white birthmark on her hip that looked like the full moon. As she grew, her black fur changed to silvery gray. The people of the island called her Hina, after the goddess of the moon. Hina became quite famous because she was the first monk seal to be born on the island in recent history. The years went by, and Honu and Hina grew older and stronger. Though they never met, they lived through many of the same adventures. They escaped dangers such as unattended fishing nets that could entangle them, hungry sharks that could bite them, and boats with propellers that could hit them. Many of their family members and ancestors were not so lucky. Some of them had been hunted by humans back in the days before laws protected turtles and seals. The laws were created because the numbers of these animals had dropped so low that they were in danger of becoming extinct, which means there are no more and won't be any more. One day, after Honu finished grazing on limu or seaweed, he felt like going ashore to bask on the beach in the midday sun. Honu came ashore, and it was good. He fell asleep at the water's edge as the lapping waves gently pushed his flippers back and forth. Honu woke to a strange sound coming from a rock next to him. Funny, he thought, that rock wasn't there when I fell asleep. The rock started to breathe and snort. Then it rolled over right onto Honu. "What is it?" "Whoa," said Honu, "you're not a rock." "No, I'm a monk seal," said Hina. "I thought you were a rock, so I came to snuggle next to you." Honu and Hina became close friends and often came ashore to bask on the beach together. At many places, people would look after them by putting up rope barriers and reminding other people how important it was to give these animals enough space to rest undisturbed. So there's a rope barrier and somebody explaining it, and people can take pictures but not get too close. One day, Honu and Hina swam to a beach where a man named Keoni and his daughter Pua were trying to catch fish. Keoni and Pua had seen turtles before, but this was the first time they had ever seen a real seal, a seal at their favorite fishing spot. It wasn't long before Hina began playing with a fish that was actually the bait on Keoni's fishing line. After Hina removed the bait fish from the hook, she and Honu swam away quickly. In the flurry, Honu brushed against the fishing line and its hook got stuck in his flipper. "Hanapa'a! We hooked something!" screamed Pua as the fishing pole bent and the bell attached to it started ringing. "It's on. Honu, the turtle." Keoni reeled the line in and saw that he had hooked Honu. "Away! Too bad," he said, as he removed the hook and released Honu. Though he was hurt, Honu was thankful to be alive and free. They got the hook out. Keoni and Pua went home. They were excited to have seen a monk seal on the beach. They were also disturbed about the seal taking their bait and the Honu getting hooked. Pua told the story to her Tutukane grandfather. Tutukane said, "I know Honu well. In ancient times, the Honu was a respected food known for its life force. Only the alihi, the chiefs, were allowed to eat them. In my lifetime, we ate them at our family luau, the feasts." That's the Tutukane saying that. Then the restaurants began to serve Honu. As people's appetites for Honu grew, the number of turtles declined. After a while, Honu became rare, and they would flee in fear at the sight of a human. That's when the modern-day kapu, protective laws, began, and Honu started to come back. Some people would like to be able to eat Honu again. "How could anyone eat a turtle?" asked Pua. Tutukane said, "The same way we eat kalo, ia, and pua'a, that's taro, fish, and pig. We respect our food and thank it for nourishing our bodies." This gave Pua something to think about. "And what about the monk's seal?" she asked. Tutukane answered, "I have never seen one, but once in a while they were spotted in the ocean when I was a boy. Your auntie Kehau studies them at the university. She will know about the monk seals." Auntie Kehau had researched the history of the Hawaiian monk seal. When Pua and her father came asking about the seals, Auntie Kehua gave them some answers. Kehau gave them some answers. The Hawaiian monk seal. She's showing the Hawaiian Islands on the globe. Monk seals have lived in the Hawaiian Islands for millions of years. They are the oldest and rarest kinds of seals in the world. The seals lived on all the Hawaiian Islands before there were people living in Hawaii. So this is the chain of Hawaiian Islands, all made by the same volcanic hot spots in the crust of the earth. After humans came to the islands, the seals lived mostly on the tiny remote Hawaiian islands called atolls, these tiny ones. These atolls lie to the northwest of the main islands. They are all that remain of large islands that once towered high above the sea. The northwestern Hawaiian Islands are now called, it's a long name I won't try right now, named for the union of the Earth Mother, Papa, and Sky Father, Wakea, that gave birth, Hanau, to the islands, Moku. That's her history lesson. Auntie Kehau showed Keone and Pua some very old photographs of seals and honu on the tiny Hawaiian atolls. That's a real photograph of somebody petting a seal. Pua was saddened by some of the pictures of the animals that were hunted by people. Auntie Kehau reminded her that it was now against the law to harm or kill these animals. In the 1980s, some of the monk seals began to swim down to the main Hawaiian islands, to beaches where they had not lived for centuries. First Niihau Island, then Kauai, then the rest. Soon seals were being born on all the main islands, sometimes even on crowded beaches. Auntie Kehau went on to say, "Just because you see more seals around the main islands nowadays, don't be fooled. They are a critically endangered species and need our help to survive." Do you think it really lies on a towel under an umbrella? Then Auntie Kehau told stories of other Hawaiian animals that had gone extinct, such as the o'o and the pa'uli birds. Extinct means that they are gone and will never be seen alive on earth again, she said. The alala Hawaiian crow, once plentiful and even considered a pest, is now completely gone in the wild. Just a small number of them live in a special building where scientists work to keep the species alive. There are happy stories of animal survival as well. Hawaii's state bird, the nene goose, was once nearly extinct with only a couple dozen birds left in the wild. With people's help, the nene made a successful comeback and is now thriving for future generations to appreciate. The kohola humpback whales were also overhunted and are now protected and making a comeback. It is amazing to watch them breaching or jumping out of the water and splashing back into the sea. As for the Hawaiian monk seal, its numbers are so low that it could easily slip into extinction, as the Caribbean monk seal did in the 1950s. Rather than getting mad at the monk seal for taking your bait or your favorite spot on the beach, consider its importance to the world and its natural right to exist, added Auntie Kehau. On the way home, Keone and Pua had a lot to discuss. They shared with Tutukane what they had learned. The next day, they all went back to the beach to go fishing at their favorite place. There, on the very spot where they were going to set up, were Honu and Hina basking on the warm sand. Keone exclaimed, they're in our spot! Tutukane put his hand on Keone's shoulder. This was the first time he had ever seen a Hawaiian monk seal or even a live Honu on the beach. Tutukane spoke, and his son Keone and granddaughter Pua listened closely to his words. "I am thankful for the return of the Honu and the monk seal. Look at them, how they share the beach. There is plenty of room for us all." Keone turned to his daughter, Pua, and said, "We can find a way to share the Aina, the living earth." Pua smiled. She realized that she and her friends would soon be adults, and that the fate of the Aina would be in the hands of their generation. Honu and Hina rested peacefully on the beach. Though their future seemed uncertain, they knew that the present was a gift.